Now, I want you to listen carefully, not just to the words, but the posture behind them.
There's a reason that the other side is giddy about having Nicki Minaj, a rapper they despise, a rapper they don't respect, a rapper most of them probably have never heard one of her songs, and if they have, they're horrified. The reason they want her on a leash as their house pet, cuddled at Donald Trump's feet, the reason she is the new house pet is because they need NEEED, Black people, to give them cultural cool. Black cultural cool has always been a powerful, powerful element in the country. Candace Owens was brought into Turning Point USA to do that, to recruit rappers, to recruit Kanye West for a reason. It's not like they like rap music, but they needed Candace to do that. Well, Candace has gone off the field. She's no longer playing ball. So since Candace isn't playing ball, they need a new Candace. So they tried Amber Rose, but Amber Rose is not popular enough with Black people, and also says she isn't Black. So that didn't really work. They moved on to their next gambit, which is to get the Trinidadian who doesn't care about the killing of Trinidadian fishermen, the rapper who hates the female rapper who hates other female rappers, who hates on women who are more popular than her, Cardi B, people who are better at cultural marketing than her. She'll never be Rihanna. She'll never have a brand like Rihanna. She'll never be Beyonce. She's a 40-something-year-old Black female rapper who clearly don't care that much about Black people or immigrants, even though she was an undocumented immigrant. She's the perfect foil to replace Candace. Nicki is the new Canvas. They wouldn't want her if they didn't need cultural cool. Their problem is she ain't cultural cool no more. So the Barbs, Nicki ain't shit and she ain't saying nothing. And 100 little Barbs can't tell me nothing. Y'all mad about it, be mad about it. But she not gonna work. But they're gonna keep looking for somebody Black to be the face, to put blackface on MAGA. And they know that cultural cool matters. That's why they're doing it. I'm done.
Wow. So you're implying that Trump, or MAGA rather, they just hire people. Wow. When someone suggests Black support must be staged, managed, or used, that assumption carries a built-in hierarchy. It implies voters aren't decision makers, but we're props. Us Black people, we're tokens and accessories. Here's the question that nobody asks, though. If independent political thought only counts when it matches your preference, is that respect or ownership? I really want to know, because flipping the logic exposes something uncomfortable. If us Black voters supporting one party are celebrated, but supporting another party, we then become mocked or diminished, then the issue isn't empowerment, it's compliance. And compliance narratives don't empower people. They classify them. Now, I want you to watch what happens when someone embraces choice openly. Boom. As the day comes to an end, I want to thank my new MAGA family, especially the woman I stan, Nicki Minaj. Stan is another word for super fan. Eminem kind of coined that with his song. Anywho, MAGA Barbie also went on the right. I want people who deep down want to transition to the Republican Party to go for it and make that transition. The Republican Party is the party of love and welcoming. This is what shakes institutions right here. Not a celebrity, not a headline, just the person saying, hey, I elevated and I chose. That shouldn't be revolutionary. That should be ordinary, if you ask me. But when ordinary autonomy becomes controversial, you've discovered the unspoken rule. Some spaces celebrate diversity of identity, but fear diversity of thought, for a fact. And here's the spiritual awakening question. If empowerment only applies inside approved boundaries, was it empowerment or was it branding? That tension doesn't stay political either. It bleeds into culture. Let's talk about that cultural angle.
The real reason Nicki Minaj is being punished the way that she is because she's a Black woman. Lil Wayne, Benny the Butcher, Ice Revezo, Peasy, 50 Cent, and Kodak Black are all MAGA. They were not punished or scrutinized the way that Nicki Minaj was. I wonder why. It's so funny because every time we have a conversation about the desire and need for Black male leadership in our community, it always goes back to Black women. Saying all of that to say Black women really lead our community. That is why Nicki Minaj is being punished the way that she is. It's because she is a queen in our community and we don't have enough kings.
Oh, my bad. I had myself on mute. First of all, 50 Cent, he never came out and declared Donald Trump he never gave his support 100% to Donald Trump. He just implied why he understands how black people support him. Now, whether people agree with this take or not, it surfaces a deeper conversation. Power structures exist everywhere: music, media, politics, industry, and independent voices always face the same pressures: align or isolate. History shows that pattern repeatedly across ideologies, industries, and decades. But here's the deeper thought most never sit with. True influence doesn't fear disagreement. Only systems that depend on alignment do. And when independence shows up, people don't just interpret it politically, they interpret it spiritually. Which brings us to here.
The intercessors are still in control of this nation. We continue to pray over the president, whether you like him or not, because your intercession is not predicated on who you like. Since when do we pray for who we like? Your job as an intercessor will be ineffective if your feelings are involved. Your job is to pray, keep him alive, keep him convicted to you, and let him follow your will.
This isn't supposed to scare you in any way, shape, or form. This video is to call you to pray for your president. It's important to take serious that which what you see taking place around us, not to take cues from it, but to understand that we are in a generation who is highly rebellious and will stop at nothing to defy the very authority that God himself has given to us, especially for such a time as this. And whether you like him or not, if you call yourself a Christian, the Bible tells you as a Christian that you are to pray for your leader, no matter who it is. It is not idolatrous to pray for your leader, but it is in fact ignorant to wish the downfall of someone who is in fact leading the very country that you live in.
Preach. Preach. Faith perspectives frame leadership through purpose and protection, not party talking points. And dismissing those perspectives misses something huge. Millions of voters don't separate civic life and spiritual worldview. They elevate leadership through moral frameworks, not pundit frameworks. Agree or disagree, that reality shapes elections. And elections ultimately they get measured by something tangible. You know what that is? Numbers.
It is interesting, though. I mean, Donald Trump has received a larger percentage of black votes than any other Republican candidate this century, right? There was a shift of, it was 4% when John McCain ran. Now it's about 15% for Trump. So I guess I'm curious to get your take on if he is regarded as a racist figure, which I do not agree with, how would so many voters be turning to him?
Well,
it is interesting, though. I mean, Donald Trump has received...
Great question. This is where rhetoric meets measurable movement. And here's the thought nobody says out loud. You don't attack trends unless they threaten trajectory. Political ecosystems react strongest not to dominance, but to shifts. Because shift signals unpredictability, and unpredictability reduces control. That's why narratives intensify. Because narrative is the last lever when persuasion weakens for them. But narrative manipulation doesn't stop with polling either. It extends into information itself.
So this photo of Donald Trump with this little beautiful black girl was left out of the files.
really? Oh, well, I mean, that's what happens when you're innocent.
And I don't know the situation behind this picture, so I don't want to speculate.
I don't know. I get the feeling that you're about to do the exact opposite. But continue.
But they are saying that her name is Allie Carter.
Wrong. That's not Allie Carter.
And this picture was taken in the 90s. And they're saying that it was some type of presidential ball back then, whoever was the sitting president when this picture was taken.
Okay, I'm getting bored now. Let's get to a point.
But look at how he has his hands around her neck.
I'm confused on what exactly your point is.
It's cringy.
I could see how someone without a dad would think so.
And like I said, I haven't seen any specific charges made about this child, but it's just the placement of his hand. It's just like, why did y'all leave this picture out? Like where is her parents?
Sounds like you're trying to make something out of nothing. Probably because women that are raised in single mother households have no idea what a healthy touch looks like from a man.
Donald Trump literally has his hands around her neck. That's not suspicious to y'all?
Actually, no, it's not. But what's suspicious to me is that you people actually go on the internet and curate photos to go with your weird ass narratives.
I don't know. It's just weird.
And the fact that you would even seek this photo out and then try to attach a sexualized message to it, a photo that isn't even real, is absolutely bizarre. This is the photo that was posted. This is the actual photo. Now you tell me exactly what happened here. Is your hate so strong for someone that you would take a photo on the internet and then try to tie a story to it that tries to insinuate that they are a sexual predator? I don't think that you people really understand how much of a fucking issue you are to this country. Honey, you're so lucky it wasn't me, because I would sue your ass into generational poverty. This photo that you see is actually a photo of Donald Trump and his daughter Ivanka Trump. They are at a Look of the Year modeling contest, and Ivanka in the picture is about 9 or 10 years old. And the photo was taken September 3rd, 1991 at the Plaza Hotel, which he owned at the time. And you wonder why people don't trust black people.
Edited images, viral captions, curated framing. Digital misinformation isn't partisan, it's universal. And here's the awakening moment. The real divide today isn't even left versus right, y'all. It's consumers versus investigators. Audiences are evolving. They question more, verify more, analyze more, which is good. And the more people think independently, the harder centralized narratives land, which loops us back to the worldview again, full circle.
And I don't always agree with Trump, the things he does and says. However, he is making the necessary changes needed for the better of this country. It's the thing about change is it's never comfortable.
Short and sweet. Reluctant acknowledgement clips carry weight because they signal evaluation over allegiance. And evaluation is what ignites backlash, because evaluation means voters aren't predictable. And you know, here's the deepest takeaway. The loudest outrage isn't even triggered by support itself. It's triggered by self-direction, because autonomy breaks narrative. Autonomy, it breaks expectations and breaks control structures. And once autonomy spreads, the conversation changes permanently. Now, you don't have to agree with the political stance in this video. That's not the point. The point is recognizing when the truth gets twisted, when voters get categorized based off your skin color, and when autonomy gets reframed as ignorance. Because awakening isn't choosing sides, it's realizing you are always allowed to think for yourself. And that realization right there is what unsettles systems the most. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, we're going to just keep it simple. I'm sleepy. So we're going to type awaken. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. I'm going to see y'all later. Peace.